Have you ever stopped to think about how a single word can just spark an idea? Or how one tiny little observation can end up changing the whole world? Well, today, we're going to pull on some of those hidden threads that connect everything, from the letters on a page to a spark of pure genius and even the power of a single memory.
Now, I know this sounds like some kind of riddle, right? But the answer isn't a thing, it's a process. It's the simple act of noticing the little details, finding the patterns, and creating meaning where there wasn't any before. Let's dive in and see how it works.
So, our journey has to start with the very foundation of all our ideas words. But to really get it, we've got to go even smaller, to their most basic building blocks the letters themselves.
Let's kick things off with a little puzzle. Here we have two words, and each one is just missing a single letter. Seems pretty simple, but this is actually the first step in the whole process, seeing how our brains are wired to turn these tiny, separate parts into a whole picture. And the answers are U and V. With just that one little piece, Rokundund becomes round, and brave becomes brave. See that? We just turned fragments into complete thoughts. That's step one, seeing how the individual pieces create meaning.
Okay, so letters build words, but how do we organize those words so they actually make sense? Let's try another quick one. Take a look at these four words. Can you put them in alphabetical order? The right order is gate, grain, Greek, and grow. And this shows that structure isn't just about being tidy. It's about creating a clear path so we can understand things. It's how we turn a jumble of info into a clear idea.
Now, let's get into the potential that's hiding inside just one single word. Let's take the word sometimes, for example. How many smaller words do you think we can build using only the letters we see right there?
Well, here are just a few. You've got some, time, met, most, ties, stem. And believe me, there are a lot more. This just goes to show you that even inside one single idea, there are tons of other ideas just waiting to be found if we only look closely enough.
Okay, now stick with me here. Let's take this exact same idea, finding connections between simple little parts, and see how it applies not just to words, but to one of the most important scientific breakthroughs in all of history. This is the moment it all clicked for the brilliant scientist Michael Faraday. He wasn't trying to change the world, he was just observing something simple. He saw one thing, a magnet moving, and he noticed it caused something else to happen. You can actually break his moment of genius down into three simple steps. First, he observed a magnet moving. Second, he connected that movement to an electrical current. And third, he used that connection to create something brand new, a way to turn motion into electricity. That's where real innovation happens, in that link between two things that seem totally separate. And the result of all this? The electric generator. This one discovery, this simple connection between movement and current, is the foundation for how we get our power today. It all started with that one tiny spark of observation. And what's really incredible is that even when Faraday started to lose his memory later in life, his drive to find connections, it never went away. He kept working, always looking for that next link, which just proves that the process of discovery is truly a lifelong journey. So, we've seen connections in language and in science. Now let's explore a more personal kind of connection, the one between a simple object and a powerful memory, all brought to life through poetry. In these amazing lines, the poet looks at a butterfly, and all of a sudden, the past comes rushing back. The butterfly isn't just an insect anymore. It becomes a sort of historian of his childhood, bringing back what he calls the dead times. But here's the thing, the memory isn't just his. He remembers being a hunter running around with leaps and springs. But his sister, Emmeline, saw it completely differently. She feared to brush the dust from off its wings. For her, it wasn't a hunt. It was about protecting it.
So think about that. The exact same butterfly, the same moment in time, created two totally different memories, one of a wild chase, the other of gentle care. It's just a perfect example of how our own perspectives shape the stories we tell ourselves.
We've seen these connections in science and in memory. For our last part, let's bring it all back to language and look at how the tiniest details are absolutely crucial for making our own ideas clear to everyone else.
Okay, look at this sentence. What a deep thought this art conveys. I mean, all the words are there, but something's missing. It feels flat, right?
The meaning is there, but the feeling, the impact is lost.
But watch this. You add a capital letter and an exclamation point, and suddenly the sentence comes to life. It's not just a statement anymore, it's an expression of awe. Those tiny little marks totally change the tone and make the feeling crystal clear.
Here's one last example. Read this with me. The person round blank is making the speech is my friend. Because of that blank, the connection is just broken. We're missing one tiny word to build a bridge.
And by adding that one small word, who, the whole thing just clicks into place. The person who is making the speech is my friend. The sentence is now in sharp focus. This is exactly why being precise with language is so powerful. It builds the strong, clear bridges our ideas need. So at the end of the day, that's the common thread, isn't it? Whether it's a single letter finishing a word, a moving magnet creating electricity, or a butterfly unlocking a childhood memory. Real progress, real understanding, comes from making connections.
And that leaves us with one final thought. The world is just full of these small, disconnected details. Faraday saw a magnet twitch. A poet saw a butterfly flutter by. So what small detail will you notice today, and what new world might it open up for you?